Hey, it's Rick here, and I've got another iPhone 4 case video for you. This time it's on the Seidio Innocase Active case. This is a pretty new case at the time of this video shoot. It came out a couple of weeks ago, and as you can see, when you order the case from Seidio Direct, you're going to receive it in this clamshell style packaging that opens up, and inside that box you're going to receive obviously the case. You're going to get some instructions on how to install the case, how to remove it. You're going to get a thank you card that you can see here, and then of course the insert itself with some additional directions. Now the case itself is a two-part case, so it's a bit of a hybrid case in the sense that one, you've got your inner shell, which is made out of a silicone. It's very flexible, very impact, I don't necessarily know if resistant is the word, but absorbent, I suppose, is the word I'm looking for. And this is the inner shell. And then, of course, the outer shell is a hard plastic, as you can hear here. And that goes on the inner shell. I'm going to show you how that works in just a moment here. Now, to get the case on, it is really easy, at least the first step is. The second step is a little bit more challenging, but not too bad. First thing you want to do is make sure everything lines up. So again, this is the silicone inner shell, which just stretches over the case, as you can see here. Now, normally with a case like this, you get a lot of flex, you get a lot of bend, and it becomes a bit of an issue. Well, because Seidio did this two-part case, this hybrid, once we put this on, you're going to notice that this whole thing no longer flexes like that, which is a very good thing. It helps to keep it in place. So before I put this on, a couple of things to note. This is the exterior shell that's hard. I don't know why it's designed with this centerpiece, but just so you know, that's what it looks like. You also have the camera area, and as you can see here, it's almost like a felt. It's a raised area and it's like a felt, so it helps to keep your camera protected additionally there. So the way that you get this on, again, we've already put the silicone piece on. You are going to start with this side where your volume controls are, and you want to make sure that everything lines up just fine there, including this area. So you can see how on the silicone piece you've got this bump out. That's going to help to lock this in place. So we've lined them up on this side, everything looks good, and then you're just going to work it around to the other side. Now this requires a little bit of effort because the hard shell case flexes, but not too much. It flexes enough that you can get the case on. So once you've lined it up, you're just going to kind of work that silicone into the hard shell case until it looks like it fits in there pretty well. Now, I would recommend, if you have this case, if you get the case, spend a little bit more time for the video purposes here. I'm going to just move along, but you want to spend a little bit more time, you know, kind of working the silicone into the hard shell itself. You'll get a better fit, it'll line up better, and you won't get as many, you know, gaps. Not that, you know, gaps is a problem with the case, but you can see as you work it, it's going to fit better. So once you get the case on, as I mentioned, take a look at this. It doesn't, I'm applying force, and because that hard shell is on, it's not pulling away. So it really helps to keep it in place, especially in these two areas here. Up at the top, yeah, you've got a little bit of flex still, but you know, putting this in and out of a pocket, it doesn't snag, it doesn't catch, so it's not pulling away. The most flexible area, and that's probably because you got the big cutout for the dock here, is the bottom. So you can see that it does flex a bit there, but it's nothing problematic. Again, I haven't experienced issues with that. So let's take a very quick tour of the case. This area for your silent switch, very deep. I will tell you that right now. If you don't have small fingers, you're going to need to have a nail or something to reach in there because it's a bit troublesome to get at. So that is the one of two things that I wish maybe could have been done a little bit differently. So that's one thing to note. The buttons here, real nice that they've covered up the volume buttons, and they're very responsive. So let me go ahead and turn on my phone, and I'll let you hear the response as well, because you'll hear it click. And you can see that's very responsive. Up on the top, this button for your sleep-wake, it doesn't really raise out, and I wish it did because it's pretty flush with the case. You can kind of feel where it's supposed to be, but again, you're not going to get the tactile clicking response like you do with these buttons or anything, so you press it and it'll work, and it's not hard to press, but it just isn't as like a tactile response or anything of that nature, so keep that in mind. Also at the top, you've got your headphone jack and your noise canceling that lines up well and good. It's a little bit deep, but I haven't had any issues using any of the headphones that I've got. On the bottom, we've got your cutout for your dock and also for your microphone and for your speaker. It's pretty well cut out, so most docks should work with this, and it's not too deep there, so you shouldn't have much of a problem with that. This side is completely enclosed. Obviously, these two areas where the silicone kind of comes out is what's locking the hard shell into the case. And then finally on the back, this is really interesting and something that I haven't seen in any of the other cases that I've got my hands on. Check out the way that they did their camera on this. This is really neat. They've gotten their measurements just right too, so good stuff there. And the good thing about this case is because they've designed the camera like that, where it kind of creates this little barrier or wall between the flash and the lens itself, it doesn't impact your camera at all when you're taking pictures with that LED flash. So it's really good in that respect. It keeps the light from bleeding over into the lens, and therefore you don't end up with washed out images and things of that nature. So also in the back, you can see it's got this little wave design kind of, which is kind of nice. The words Seidio right there, pretty low profile. This is the sapphire blue color, and the material of the hard shell piece feels almost like a satin feel. So it gives some grip, but at the same time it has this satin feel to it, so it's kind of nice. Again, I think it will provide relatively good drop and bump protection because you've got this two-style case, and it just feels like it's, you know, when you do this, it feels pretty good. It doesn't, you know, you don't hear metal, you don't hear your phone. I can almost, it's hard to explain on a video, but you can almost feel the absorption of the shock there. Same thing goes with, you know, doing this or this. It's got a lay on the table design, I would also mention, so your screen isn't touching, and that's kind of nice as well. So that's it. This is the Seidio Innocase Active. It's available now. Aside from those couple of things with this button not being so responsive and this one being a little bit deep, I really like the case so much that I've ordered a white version where you've got the black here and the white here, which should ship right around mid-September, and I think that'll be a cool color combination. So again, the Seidio Active, Innocase Active. If you guys have questions or comments, please feel free to let me know. Thanks again for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we'll talk to you next time.